Sky Howdy, and welcome back to another episode of World Bigfoot Radio. And welcome back. We have first time guest appearing with us today who lives over on the west coast of the U.S. and has had some very interesting activity around their house for the last over a year. Our guest today is Pistol Fonzi, who is going to tell us about activity that's been happening on her property. And so, with that, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be on. And as soon as everything happened, I reached out to Eric right away on Twitter, just because I knew he was really big into the Bigfoot community. And I've seen him post like he's been here and there and this place and that place. And I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. He definitely needs to know what's going on over here up in the Northwest, because it's way too close to home right now, way too close. And I just had to tell somebody and it's been continuing as well. So yeah, it's pretty crazy, pretty crazy right now.
Well, I just got a chance to take a look at some of the pictures and stuff that you took documenting things that are happening around your property. And I got to give you credit for being very thorough and doing a good job of doing that, and like better than a lot of purported researchers do.
Thank you. Yeah, as soon as I seen that, I'm just like, I have to get my phone out right now. So I grabbed Lola, because I was taking my dog out. I call her my sister, so I was taking her out, and that's when I noticed these foot marks, and I'm like, this is way too the stride is way too long to be from a normal person. And my friend, who is 6'6", 6'7", and he's up there, and his stride is not even that long at all. And it's just like, I had to take her inside right away and grab measuring tape and grab my phone and document everything that I could see and try to do the best as I could, because I feel like this is just like a one-time opportunity, but let alone it's just continuing on. And I'd rather feel more comfortable back where I'm from in La Push while I'm around friends and family that I can go to, because right now I'm just by myself at the trailer in Port Orchard. So yeah, it's been pretty tough here.
Sounds like it. Yeah, it's bad enough having weird cryptid activity around where you're living without just like, well, I'm the only one that's living here that's having to deal with all this weird stuff,
Yeah.
Makes it so much worse.
There's a good footmark. Footprint. Second. This one's pretty strange right here. Yeah, this one looks like he was sitting right here for a long time. Big old footmark. There's my footprint. In comparison, it looks like he stopped right there and drug it. We're heading out pretty quick, who knows? My head's back right in there. And then here's my trailer right here. Ooh, pretty bird. Very pretty bird. Me and Lola's prints over here. We actually seen the first print right here. Actually, this might be it. Right there. And then, as you can see, in between these, there's 2 more tracks. Lola was freaking bush scared. But yeah, as you can see, there's one. Here's the second one. Right behind the trailer. Coming from that, Lola was sniffing these tracks, but it leads right over here. Oh, here's a good one right here. Yeah, that last track was in this area. You can see Lola's over here. Took her out. We got a track right here in this area. All these bushes. We have unmarked. We have a 30-foot. And we have some more dirty feet right here. This is where I found that track. Where I found that hair. Right in that one right there. I had to scoop it up. Yeah, those are my footsteps right here. I had to scoop up that hair. But where could it? Must be some portal right here. Portal. Cause yeah, I got hair.
The other thing, so this was like a holiday Bigfoot visit, apparently.
Yep, exactly. So my father unfortunately passed on December 29th, and he went to the hospital a few days before December 25th, Christmas. And I was able to go visit him on Christmas, and it started to snow while I was visiting him. And where his room was, you could just see like all the trees and stuff and the snow coming down, and it was just really beautiful. And I was telling him, like, Dad, I was like, this looks like Squatch Town right here. It looks like Sasquatch could be just hanging out there watching us. I was like, this would be perfect location for him. And literally the next day, 2 days actually, December 27th, that's when I was taking my dog out for a walk, right in the backyard there. And I just turned my head because she was really just sniffing the ground really aggressively. And I was I always like aware of her because she likes to get into like eat stuff like on the ground, like chicken bones that people throw out and stuff. So I have to like really watch her. So nothing was on the ground because it just had snowed, and it snowed like 3 feet, like continuously. And So there's just like a fresh blanket of snow on the ground there, and she just started sniffing the ground, and I'm just like, what the heck is going on? And I'm just like wondering what's going on, and I turned towards the back of the trailer, and then that's where I seen those two foot marks right there. And
So you had ongoing snow going on at this time.
yeah,
So you're
yeah,
looking at these things going, I really need to document these right away
right.
because they're going to be buried right away.
Yeah, exactly. And there was a few that were buried. Like I had taken a few other pictures that were buried, and it was just, I think because right behind the trailer, there's cherry trees and stuff growing right near the back of the trailer. So I'm pretty sure like the snow was covered by the leaves and stuff, so it didn't hit those specific footprints behind the trailer. But yeah, I was just worried about the snow coming in and pretty much covering these footprints and stuff. But
were you pretty excited when that happened?
For
Because
sure, for sure.
you're like, okay, here's maybe my only chance ever to document Bigfoot evidence. I
Right?
better get a tape measure and get out here.
Exactly. Because me and my dad used to talk about Bigfoot and stuff, and he had tons of friends back home that lived or that worked up on the river fishing and stuff, and they've had like boulders thrown at them and stuff, and they've even chased them on the riverbank. And yeah, so, and that's all happened like during at night. And I remember you telling me about the treaty with the natives and Bigfoot about fishing at night and stuff. So
yeah, that's a no-no.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing, though, no, first of all, of course, your dad had already had all these sightings and interactions, so he knew they were real. So you're hearing that from him.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is that we've noticed over the course of many years of documenting this, one of their favorite times to move around is during big storms. The reason being they can go through areas they can't normally pass through, and they're not going to leave a track. The storm will bury it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And I was also talking to a guy that organized the Olympic Bigfoot project, and he was telling me that Bigfoot actually wanted me to see his tracks and wanted me to see his footprints because of the tragic loss that I'm going through right now. And I just felt like that was just like the most comforting thing to see. And I just was really excited, and I just felt really comforted, and just through the whole grieving process with my dad. And I was just so excited to go visit him again at the hospital and tell him what's going on. And yeah, it's just getting a little choked up, but yeah, his eyes are just getting really big, and he was just like, he couldn't speak because he was on life support. So he was just like, oh, I can already feel what he was saying. But yeah, I just was so excited to go tell him right away. And yeah, I just had to go get the measuring tape and document everything. And for sure, like just like more stuff keep happening. It's just nuts. I just can't believe it.
So it wasn't all that much longer after that that your dad unfortunately passed, right?
Yeah, exactly. So he had passed on the 29th, and then on the 30th is when I seen more footsteps, and that was directly behind the trailer. So I continuously take her behind the trailer because I had messed up my back really bad pulling my dad into bed, so I couldn't take her very far. So our little routine was just go around the trailer, and that continues to be our routine today. So we're just checking, I'm just really checking out the area and just scoping it out and seeing if there's any more evidence of him. And lo and behold, there's another footsteps and stuff, so I got that documented. And also my neighbor as well, I told him about this, and he came and checked out all the footprints and stuff, and he said just in that time frame he thought he heard something in the back there, like screaming really loud, and he asked me if I heard anything, but I'm a really hard sleeper, so I didn't really hear anything on that. But yeah, he said he sits on his porch very often and just
so
hangs
he heard
out.
it.
Yeah.
Was it nighttime or?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, right at night.
So we got the picture. Thank you for sending the picture of what your place looks like and the area around it. And it looks like there's a big strip of woods behind it. What's beyond that?
So, crazy story about that. My neighbor had told me there is this guy who was planning to build a church directly behind our trailer, and there's that piece of land, and he got so much money. He rounded up so much money by donation and stuff, and he just split town and scammed everyone.
So now there's just an empty lot sitting
Yep.
there, basically.
Empty lot.
Is there more woods around that? What's the general terrain in the area?
Yeah, so there's just more woods, and then a quarter mile directly behind our trailer is houses, just a strip of houses. And then that's just like that. There's a road right on the west side of the trailer. That's our main road. It's called Bethel Road. And Bethel Road, there's another road that leads you to the back road, which is Converse. And on that Converse Street is where I seen those tree structures too. So they're pretty far up into the trees there and all intertwined. And I forgot to send you that picture, but I just had recently taken those, and I noticed them back then too, but I just feel like there's just more of them woven into that large tree structure. It's pretty high up there. It's probably like 60 feet up in the trees there. So I just really observant of what's going on in the area. So yeah, for sure, this is a big Sasquatch area right where I'm at.
The area that you're in is pretty much like a wilderness, sort of. It's like mostly woods with little strips of houses, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's called Port Orchard because there's just nothing. It just rains and it just grows. A lot of like trees, cherries, all that. So there's just nothing but trees around my whole trailer park here. It's just surrounded by trees, and it's just, if you go west, there's the national forest there. So it's just all surrounded, and there's farms and stuff. And I also was like reading on some UFO stuff that there's big UFO activity on Bethel Road here. And I've also seen tons of UFOs and orbs and Tic Tacs, and yeah, it's pretty crazy here in Port Orchard.
Yeah, when I was talking to you, it sounded like there was actually more UFO flyover activity than there was any kind of Bigfoot activity or anything.
Yeah.
Like people around there going, "Oh, there was another one last night. This one was a battleship-sized flying triangle or whatever it was." Right? I saw that particular night.
Yep. Exactly. That's the one that I read too. And then also there's Bremerton, the Navy base right over there, and they had the fighter jets fly by after a mailman had seen a black triangle UFO in the farms there. So it had just. Yeah. So that happened like 3 or 4 in the morning when he was delivering, I think, newspapers, I believe. But yeah, he heard them fly by. So they probably had him on radar, knew that he was in the area or something.
Wow. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of UFO activity up here. The only ones that we've seen have been things that have been extremely high altitude. When we're up in the mountains, we can get on the at night when there's not much light pollution or anything, and we can take a good look at the upper parts of the sky because extremely clear air conditions here and no light pollution. And you see these things that, normally you would say, well, that's a satellite. Except, no, it isn't. It's flying a zigzag course, and it's making right angle turns, and it's so far up there, it's just a dot of light, and it hasn't got any navigation lights blinking. What the hell is that? So that's the level of UFO stuff we usually see. It's just little dots of light in the sky that are like, clearly that's not one of ours. But other than that, you can't tell anything from it.
Yeah, it's really fun to watch though. On a clear night, it's really fun. Just count them all, see. And there's one that I seen that just totally opened up a black hole and hopped into the black hole.
Okay, tell us that story. You told me
yeah, that was pretty nuts. Literally, that was when I was in La Push at my brother's house. And I was just sitting in the car just talking to my friend. So I was stationary and I wasn't moving or anything. And there's a tree line they had opened up. They had tore down a lot of trees because they're building a new school. And they just because the school is in tsunami zone right now. So
yeah.
Good
idea, moving out of the way before the tsunami hits, not after the tsunami.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll have to show you my shirt. It's a Bigfoot
tsunami evacuation zone. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing that somebody taught him how to surf, or Bigfoot would be in trouble. All of the great swimmers.
Right. Yeah. So it's just crazy. But I was sitting there and I noticed this ball of light just on the other side of the tree line, just going this way, over, sideways, just back and forth.
What color was it?
It was changing colors. So it was changing colors from red to yellow. And once so it was doing that movement, and it was also making its way up into the middle of the sky.
So it was above the tree line too, then?
Yep. Yeah, so when I first seen it, it was just on the other side of that tree line. And
could you see it glowing through the tree line?
Yep.
How big do you estimate the object was? How big do you think it was?
It was very hard to estimate because it looked like a star, but like a drone star. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty far. So it was just, it's hard to estimate how big. I really can't put a measurement on it because it's just, I've never seen anything like that before, honestly.
Right.
And you're just not expecting to see anything like that at all. And so the thing was changing colors, and I grabbed my mom and I inside, and I told her, I was like, look at this thing. I was like, I don't know what it is, because it's not a star, it's not a drone, it's not a satellite, it's like something, I don't know. And I was telling her, I was like, look, it's going to change colors. And then sure enough, it was just moving through the tree on the other side of the trees, just on moving.
So yeah, this thing wasn't way up in the sky or something. You could actually see it through the trees on the other side of the trees, right above the ground, moving around.
Yes. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it's just making those movements, and then I'm watching it. So that happened like around 11 o'clock at night when I first noticed it changing colors, because that's what caught my attention. And I was watching it until like maybe 1 o'clock. I would say about 12:30 is when it totally just opened up the black hole. But you can tell the difference in like the sky, because it was almost a full moon, and the moon lit up the sky. So when the orb was making its way towards the middle of the sky, I was sitting there with my mom, and she was going to tell me a story about what happened to my auntie. And before she could finish her story, the orb literally opened up the sky, and it was, I would say, if I had to measure that like wormhole, like portal, whatever you want to call it, like I would say it would have to be like at least I would say about 400 to 500 feet in diameter.
So huge.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was pretty big. And when the orb, it literally, it was this big, and then the orb just hopped into the hole, and then the orb didn't light up or anything, it just continued to stay black, but the the orb was in there, which was yellow, because once it made it up to the sky, once it was done doing its little maneuvers on the ground, excuse me, it was changing colors, but once it made it up to the sky, it stayed like a star color, like the yellowish white color. Right. So, and then once it went into that hole, it the hole was like this big, and then it collapsed to this big, and then the star was gone. And then, but that hole was, so it was this big, and then it collapsed to this big, and then that star and that orb had entered into it. And then once it entered like fully into it all the way for like a couple, like for like like not even a second, you know, this was all just like very quick, and it hopped in, and then it just collapsed into like a singular point of nothing. And then the sky just went back to regular normal. But yeah, it was pretty weird to see that.
I guess.
Yeah, seriously.
Wish you could have gotten some video of that.
Right, I did have my phone, and I was hanging out the my mom's sunroof, and we were just talking away, and but yeah, my auntie, she was chased by a UFO going on the Lake Crescent from Port Angeles to La Push, and this was late at night, and turns out her cousin had the same encounter too. So yeah, there's just tons of UFO stories in my family, and also my brother too. He had seen he was out 30 miles out on the ocean. He's a fisherman, crabber and all that, and hunter as well. And he's seen Bigfoot and stuff, but he was out on the ocean, and a UFO came right above their boat, and then shot down a beam of light. And I'm like, did you remember anything? I was like, you remember like if you got abducted or time loss? I'm like, you got abducted for sure. Like you got beamed up, dude. You totally got beamed up. I was like, that's nuts. But he just told me that like recently, after all this UFO stuff has been happening to me, and all this UFO stuff's been happening to me back in the summer. So it's been going on. I've been seeing them daily, and every time I can get a clear night over here, it's just, you can see them all the time over here.
Makes you wonder if there's some kind of a UFO base near there or something, if there's that much activity all the time.
Right, exactly. And I was thinking that because the naval base is just right there. They have tons.
Yeah, well, there you go. Do they have any nuclear or anything?
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's why they're around all the time.
Yeah.
That seems to be pretty constant. Anywhere they've got nuclear stockpiles and stuff, the space boys are zipping around keeping an eye on them all the time.
Exactly, which totally makes sense. And in the summer too, I was driving from the dollar store back home with my auntie, and I was driving, and I had glanced over, and I seen a Tic Tac. It was positioned like this, like at an angle. So when the sun hit it, you could see like all the panels like wrapped around the whole Tic Tac UFO. And it was just like, what the heck? I wasn't trying to blink because I wanted to see, like, I just wanted to continue to see it, you know, and it sucked because I was driving and I couldn't get a picture or a video or anything, but I barely blinked and it was out of there. So it was, yeah, it was really crazy to see that. I'm just like mind blown. I'm totally mind blown.
Yeah, we got those reports from up here in Minot, North Dakota, and also Malmstrom Air Force Base, where the space boys were playing with the nuclear weapons and turning them off and whatnot when they were zooming around by the bases. Yeah, that's from a long, long time ago. But yeah, so and ever since then, the ufologists have been keeping an eye on that. Like, what's the deal with them hanging around where all of our weapons are? You know, right? Like you know, if they're from some other country, we should really be aware of what's going on, right? If they're not from some other country, we should still be aware of what's going on, right?
Seriously, we need to know what is going on, because I was going to ask you that, how far away where those bases from your location right now? Or is that
long ways? The Malmstrom is probably 4 hour, 3 hour, 3 or 4 hour drive from here.
Oh, okay. Not too bad.
And there's there's all kinds of weird stuff that happens up in that area anyway. I know one of my most disturbing ones that I've heard was that they got a security notification that the door on a nuke silo was ajar.
Oh no.
Those are made out of like concrete and weigh like 30 tons. How does that happen?
Wow.
So they sent out a security guy to go check it out. And apparently they had been planning on doing some like refurbishing, making sure it still worked sort of. And they had a semi-trailer with equipment and stuff on it parked next to it overnight. And when he got there, something had tipped the whole semi-trailer over. The door for the nuke silo was open. And there was a strange smell coming out of it. And he absolutely refused to crawl in there and see what, if anything, was in there.
What the heck?
Uh-huh.
Did something escape or?
Yeah, or did something decide that was a good hole to sleep in overnight and just move that 30-ton door out of the way?
Wow, that is, because I know, and was it in the mountains too?
No, this is sort of where their nuke silos are, is mostly out on the flats. So
yeah, that's what I thought.
That was extremely creepy.
Yeah, that's really strange. Really strange. I'm lost.
I'd be willing to bet whatever moved the blast door from the nuke silo is probably what pushed the truck over.
Wow. Probably a full tank of gas too. Dang.
Yeah, well, 18-wheeler weighs plenty with or without gas, plus how much equipment was in it and how heavy was that.
Seriously, like, that's a ton of weight.
So that's why, the security guy wisely said, well, here's the situation. I don't know what's in there and I'm not going down there. Call somebody else.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Not at all. I just report.
Yeah, yep, for sure. So, there's always kinds of, strange incidents and stuff. And another one, of course, is a lot of the military bases and stuff like that. They get reports from the sentries and from their electronic observation gear that there's Bigfoot lurking around there too. So, oh yeah, well, they're everywhere, and they can go right through security and go and then go right back out again.
Yeah, cloak themselves and be anywhere at any time.
Portal in, portal out.
Yeah, I wonder.
After the two incidents back in the winter, did you have what more ongoing Sasquatch related activity?
Yeah, so the two footprints that were pretty much like just a few days apart, that had happened, and my dad had passed on the 29th, and on the 31st was his birthday, and my mom was up here, and it was just me and her, and we were just in the living room just watching TV. It was about 10:30 at night, and on December 31st, on my dad's birthday, and all of a sudden we hear this loud bang at the back of my trailer where my bathroom is. So it goes my bathroom, my bedroom, where I'm at in the kitchen, living room, and
so
then
the
my
bathroom at the very back of the trailer?
Yeah.
And that's where the wood line is?
Yes. Yep. Right there. So it's like I haven't been able to sleep in my room at that time for like a few months, because I'm just like I'm good. I'll just pull a bed out in the living room, and until my back was just like I can't handle this bed. So I was just like I'll just go in my room and go to sleep early, and so I'm just like had to it was just we heard that noise, and it was literally, it dang near shook the trailer, because the impact, it felt like he just went bang on the back of the trailer, 2 fists, and my dog started going crazy. It literally almost like the impact and the noise like almost shook my heart. Like like a bomb was going off or something. And I didn't want to go outside, see what that was, because I was just like, I know for a fact it was Bigfoot, because when I first seen his tracks, he was going through a portal right behind my neighbor's house. And I labeled that the west portal because it's on the west side of my trailer, just the way that I'm facing. And then it entered on the east side of my trailer going through the sticker bushes. And right before he went into the sticker bushes, there was one sticker bush sticking out of the snow. And he must have brushed his foot on the snow or on the sticker bush, or he must have stepped onto the sticker bush, because in his very last full footprint in the snow, he had left some Bigfoot hair. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, what the heck do I do with this? So I ziplocked it and checked it out. Like, I just wanted to like further examine it, you know. And then I sent some pictures to Eric and all that, and he was just like, yeah, the guy that I know, he's I think he's like traveling or something, so he's unavailable at the moment. But I'm just like, I don't even want to get it tested. Like, I just feel like I have to put it back right away where I found it. Just because I had watched a Bigfoot documentary, a native Bigfoot documentary, and the medicine man was saying, like, you don't mess with Bigfoot hair, like put it back where you found it, because you don't want any negative attachments to you or your family. So yeah, I put it back.
Unless he left it for you, maybe, you don't know.
Right, yeah, you never know. You never know, but I definitely put that back where I found it. Had a little one-person ceremony and told him I'm sorry, like, I don't mean no harm, and yeah, I'm your friend. So,
don't be wrapping my house anymore. Thank you very much.
Exactly, but he's keeping an eye on me, like we were talking about before, like how you're saying a few other accounts.
No one's lived here for a couple months. No other foot marks, just small bird marks. Here's a pretty big one. Nothing. Those are my marks that I just made. Came from right over there. And these come from right over there, as you can tell. Pretty long strides. Oh. Probably some hair over there, I don't know. Because in that very last track by my house, big old clump of hair. And I did notice these ropes right here. It's weird. But yeah, so zoom out. All trees around. I don't know if I could see. Trying to zoom in over here. Maybe that's the mark? Who knows?
First, I can't remember what tribe you said. Was it the Navajo tribe?
Well, there was one down there on the res. I'm not sure if the ladies were both Navajo, but
Oh, yeah.
one of them had lost her husband and the other one was single, and they had between them a bunch of kids. So they were teaming up to try and keep everything going. And apparently, when they went up into the woods to cut firewood, a Sasquatch followed them back again.
Wow.
Here's two females and a bunch of kids. The kids are all helping them get the firewood and everything. And he hung around by the house that they were staying at for about a week or 2 weeks until one of their male relatives showed up and started helping them, and then he just quit hanging around. And then I had another friend that was ill. Well, she contacted me and said, hey, there's all kinds of activity around here. And, well, what's the pattern with this? Well, it only shows up when her husband's gone. She's in bad health, and he works away from the house, and sometimes he's gone for like 3 or 4 days at a time. And as soon as he's gone, the Bigfoot shows up, slaps the side of the house, hangs around the property.
Yeah, that's a good
Same thing. Robin contacted that one, and mine spoke with him, and he said he was just worried about her because there was nobody there and she was sick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they definitely
He was trying to let her know he was keeping an eye on her and making sure she was okay. And instead, of course, it had the opposite effect. She's like, there's a Bigfoot slapping in my house. Ah.
Yeah, seriously, if you're not expecting it could catch you off guard.
Oh, yeah.
Really, and people are sometimes can be very traumatized from it. And I don't know, if you've seen this video that Eric recently posted. He posted on Twitter of this kid. I think he was in Canada, on this reservation in Canada, but he had gotten a really good picture of him on his iPad. I guess he was just playing in the woods, and he had seen a Bigfoot just crouching. He didn't know what it was, but the Bigfoot was just like creepy, like crawl stepping towards him. And he said it was like about 10 yards away by the time it was walking towards him. Like after it was step crawling towards him, it actually stood up on its feet and was walking towards him. And then the kid got a really good picture of it, couple pictures on his iPad. I don't know how he pulled out his iPad in time while the Bigfoot's like running at him, or coming at him, So it's just like he had good pictures, and then he ran away. But yeah, I don't know what I would do if he was that close to me. Literally.
Yeah, especially if you're a little kid and he's coming toward you.
Yeah.
Which is, again, not reassuring. I saw one like that, but that was a few years ago, so I don't know if it was a different one or if it was just one from a few years ago. But yeah, he was a little native kid, basically. And then one of his relatives took him out there, and he was standing in the same spot. Well, here's where I was, and here's where I was, and blah, blah, blah. And he walked through the whole thing that had happened. And again, the whole thing is like, man, has this kid got guts? He's got more guts than brains. Oh, there's a Bigfoot coming toward me. Better snap a couple pictures before I flee and panic. Okay, I'm out of here.
Seriously, I literally, he lives up to his name. I think it was like Good Running. His last name was Good Running.
Good at running away from Bigfoot.
Yeah, good running from Sasquatch, dude. You're a fucking legend. You're a legend.
That's why that family's been around for so many generations, because they're good at running away from Sasquatch. So they keep reproducing and not disappearing.
That's right. Truly. Literally. I do.
It makes you wonder what its intentions were when it was walking toward the kid, because I've looked at that sequence and the pictures and stuff before, and it looks legit to me.
Yeah, for sure. It does. Just the way that his arms are really, really like near his knees.
Yeah,
you know?
like too long for a human proportion. Yeah, exactly.
And then I think it had a clear picture of his thumb. It was really spread apart right here to here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you really cannot fake any of that at all.
Or if you can, you're going to spend a lot of money and research time trying to get it perfect.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And you can see it in the little boy's eyes too. Like he looks like he's seen something. Yeah. Literally, like I was saying, it could be traumatic for anyone to see it if you're just not expecting it, being so young too. So young.
Now, it's like that 3-year-old kid that disappeared for a couple of days up here in Montana, and they said that he had gotten lost and found a shed that he was hiding in, and when you dig a little bit deeper, you find out it was like some kind of a little power box shed or something. And this is a 3-year-old kid wandering around the woods by himself, and how does he find this thing and then figure out how to open the door and get in there and stay there for 2 days? And they've got dog teams out looking for him. No, none of the dogs could smell a scent.
Wow.
How could the dogs not find a scent? Really?
Yeah.
So, there's something weird about that one up there.
Yeah. He was definitely picked up if they can't find a scent, because that's...
Makes you wonder. Well, they found him 2 days later, and they got a picture of him in the ambulance, like, oh, here we found him, and it shows him with dirty socks on, and you can't tell if they took his shoes off or if he didn't have shoes. But just the look on his face, his eyes are like that. And, when you're a little 3-year-old and you're lost for 2 days and it's cold and raining the whole time, and if you weren't in a structure, you would have froze to death, you're going to be going, wah, I miss mommy, wah, wah. And you're going to have like red bloodshot, teeny eyes, not huge ones like that.
Yeah. He looked shell-shocked.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. He looked very
did.
Traumatized.
He did, for sure. I have to grab my charger just really fast. It's just after the big old slam on the trailer, I'm just like, what the heck? I had my mom stay around for a few months, and while I tried to get my back in good shape, I had herniated discs, and it's just, I could go on and on and on about what I have going on with my back, but it's just causing me a lot of troubles. And the other day was my last day of physical therapy, so everything's I'm really excited. Just got to do at-home workouts now. But so she's been hanging out with me for a while until she had to go back home, go visit her granddaughter and visit her son. So I've been up here by myself trying to get the trailer sold, and I haven't had any recent activity up until like a few weeks ago, and that was after I had went to the Bigfoot, or the first annual Sasquatch Days in Forks. So I watched the movie, the documentary that they had produced for that, and I think it's called like A Flash of Beauty. But you'll have to definitely check that out, and really good footage towards the end. But we went to that event, and I came home for a couple weeks, and I was just hanging out on the couch. And this was like last week, I'd say about a week and a half ago now. And my dog, Lola, she was just laying on the ground, and I was just watching TV, and then all of a sudden I hear just these loud stomping footsteps going like really fast, like really fast. Like I was talking to you before and you mentioned like it sounded like a horse, like just freaking just stomping, like going 90 miles an hour. And that's what it sounded like. But I heard it coming towards or coming from my neighbor's trailer, and it was running like full force. I could hear the foot stomps getting louder and louder as it was coming towards the back of my trailer. And then once it made it to the back of my trailer, there was no footsteps at all. It just completely silent. And I'm just like, what the heck? And my dog's all barking around. She's just like wondering what that noise was too, because as soon as we heard his very first footsteps, like those very first footsteps were very loud, and it was at a distance too, and you could just hear it coming towards the loud freaking thumping coming towards you, and you're just like, what the heck, is he gonna hit the trailer? Like hopefully he's just like, hopefully he's okay and nothing's chasing him. And just like, I'm like, what is going on? And I was watching that video, and I had like the few windows open, and then the Sierra Mountain sounds were playing on that video. And I'm just like trying to turn down the volume really loud, because I'm not trying to call any Bigfoots to my trailer, like not trying to have them hear these sounds going off. So I'm just like, turn it down. And I have to say, your intro is pretty crazy too. Your intro vocals for Bigfoot, was.
Some of them are Bigfoot vocals, and then there's other ones that are Gugly vocals, and I always get the interesting reactions from people that have pets that flee in horror when they hear them, or that have local Sasquatch hanging around that become apparently very concerned and run over and slap the side of the house when they hear them.
Really?
Like, is that in your house? Should I come break in and save you? Kind of thing.
That is so funny.
Yeah, I know a couple people that have a bunch of them hanging around their property, and when they turn my show on, they turn off the sound until the intro part's open. Done.
Yeah, I was watching, or I was doing dishes, and the same thing. I did the same thing. I'm like, turn that down right away, like, because I'm like, I'm not trying to call anyone over here.
Yeah, especially not one of those things.
Yeah. I literally just watched that video that you recommended on your channel, and I was glad you told me to watch it during the day, because I was literally creeped out. I could not imagine that poor dog. Literally, that poor dog. We
hear those stories about Bigfoot doing apparently pretty much the same thing, but not with that kind of malice. It's, Bigfoot don't like dogs. Dogs irritate them. So some of them they can get along with, or some of them they even seem to like, but mostly they don't like dogs at all, and especially the ones that bark too much and the ones that try and bite them. And I was just talking to one of my friends down south, and he said the neighbor had 2 mid-sized dogs and a little yappy itty-bitty dog that thought it was the leader of the pack, and they had a Bigfoot near the property, and all 3 dogs went and chased it off into the woods, and they heard yep, 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 yep.
Oh no.
Yeah. He became a pothole filler. They found his remains at the bottom of a Bigfoot track, essentially.
Oh my gosh. That
got squished.
Yeah, that's what you get for trying to be a little dog, trying to have a fighter mentality, but that's just so sad.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If you're 1 foot tall, you shouldn't take on a 10-foot Bigfoot.
Yeah, honestly.
You have scheduled yourself for extinction. Congratulations, Darwin Award-winning dog. You're out of the gene pool.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad. That's so sad. Poor dog.
Yeah. Well, I feel sorry for him to a limited extent. I mean, any animal that's that stupid, maybe it should be extinct.
Yeah.
You have no instinct for self-preservation whatsoever. Yeah. Would you go up and jump into a tiger's mouth? Pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You do not want to go up against a Bigfoot at all.
Yeah, you have to be a really big rugged cryptid to even think about it.
Yeah, seriously.
So you had one of your other family members has had a bunch of stuff happen to them there too, right?
Yeah, so my auntie, and this was like when I was really into UFOs and stuff, and recently I've fallen off the subject because just how political it's been getting recently, and I'm just like, screw all this. Like, I'll just look up in the sky and see them for myself, and just screw all the bull. So
yeah, you don't need Congress to tell you that it's just a weather balloon full of swamp gas.
Exactly. So it's just like during that time when I was really into UFOs, my auntie told me she had Bigfoot tap on her windows, and she had prints on her window in her kitchen. And she lives in a middle of it's called, so La Push has 3 different levels to it. So there's the main or the first level as you get into it, which is Ravencrest. And the second level is Quileute Heights. And it's just pretty much one big old loop. And my auntie lives pretty much like the very first house on the inside of the loop. So there's like no trees around her. And for some reason she had, which is like really hard for me to, I don't want to say believe, it's just like hard to maybe believe's the right word. I don't know. It was just at the time, just because like, how come Bigfoot would be at your window, just, at like knocking on your window, and there's
no cover for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you would expect her to be running across her yard avoiding graboids from the movie Tremors trying to come up out of the ground and get her, but not Bigfoot when there's no trees there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, I believe anything she says, I believe anything my family says. So I'm just like, I took that with me, and I always think about it and stuff. And you were asking me if I had any window taps or anything, and I'm just like, thankfully, no. I would be really scared on that one, honestly. And I just try to have good thoughts and no negative feelings, and just all love, try to be peaceful and stuff, and try not to think of anything like that, because like I said, I'm by myself over here, and I've had some other crazy stuff that happened to me before when I was really young, and just
that wasn't there though, right? Though, different area.
What was that?
I said that would be in a different area though, right?
That would be in La Push, where I'm currently in Port Orchard right now, but I'm from La Push, and this happened in La Push while I think I was about 8, or I think I was about 9, 10, or 11 years old. I cannot remember. I was pretty young, and I don't care. I'm going to say it. I used to sleep with my mom and dad because I used to be really sketched out, like sleeping in my room. So I slept with my mom and dad till I was pretty old. And after I moved out of their room, I just slept on the couch, and I just totally avoided my room at all costs.
Did you have a window in your room?
Yeah, I had a window, and it's.
You think maybe you saw something in the window at some point?
Maybe. I don't know. I just had really bad vibes over there in my room. But my cousin, my mom and dad started taking care of my cousin Vern, and he had multiple accounts of him just being outside of the house with all the doors locked, and there's no literally he's 2-3 houses down, and somehow he's like slept walk over there or just got transported over there, because my dad would check on him when he is asleep and make sure everything's okay in the house and stuff. And then he checked on him and he wasn't in his room, and he checked all the rooms and all the throughout the house, and he wasn't there. And then all the doors were locked from inside. So it's not like, and he has no key at that time of night. So it's like, how the hell did you get from inside to outside with everything locked? And it's just like, it just made no sense to me how he could do that. But I don't know what it was, but that just happened quite frequently. And he slept in my room all the time. Like, he took over my room, and like I said, I used to sleep on the couch and stuff, and just very weird. But like I was saying, I slept with my mom and dad, and I slept right near the window. My mom was in the middle, and then my dad was right by the door, and we had a big California king. And the door was always open, and there was a light in the hallway. So it was lit up all the time in case anyone had to go to the bathroom. And all of a sudden, I wake up out of dead sleep. I couldn't even tell you what time it was. And it was just in the middle of the night. And I look over towards the door, and I see this shadow figure, and it was completely black, and it had a black hat, had a black hat on, and it looked like a coat, and it was just sitting there at the edge of the bed, and it was sitting on my dad's feet, because I didn't tell anyone this, because I'm just like trying to repress the memory of what I freaking saw, because I have no clue what it was. Because I look over and my mom's right there, and I look over and my dad's right there, and my dad wouldn't be wearing a hat like that at all. He doesn't even own a hat like that. So
Right.
who the heck is in my room and sitting on my freaking bed? And yeah, I told my mom about it, and she was like, yeah, your dad used to feel someone or something just sitting on the bottom of his feet, right on his feet. And I'm just like, what the heck? So that was freaking real that I seen. Like, this whole time I'm just like trying to, like, that wasn't real, I didn't see that. But yeah, it was freaking real, totally real.
Very creepy. See, I got a question for you. You got a couple of trackways through your backyard, and well, it was snowing, so you could capture some evidence of it. And then you've got the pictures of where you think there's portals there. What makes you think there's portals there?
Oh, I believe there's portals because there's no way possible anything can get through those sticker bushes. Literally, there on the pictures, you'll see there's 2 tree stumps, and he walks between those 2 tree stumps, and through those, on the other side of those tree stumps, there's sticker bushes, and those sticker bushes are at least 20 feet high. They're up there. So, and it's just like scattered sticker bushes. And that's why I believe that he opens up a portal right there, because on his footsteps, where the sticker bush was sticking out of the snow, like I was telling you, he had brushed on
the hair on it.
Yeah, caught the hair on it. That was his very last full footstep before going into the sticker bush. And literally, on the pictures, you'll see there's 2 tree stumps, and he walks between those 2 tree stumps, and through those, on the other side of those tree stumps, there's sticker bushes, and those sticker bushes are at least 20 feet high. They're up there. So, and it's just like scattered sticker bushes. And that's why I believe that he opens up a portal right there, because on his footsteps, where the sticker bush was sticking out of the snow, like I was telling you, he had brushed on
the hair on it.
Yeah, caught the hair on it. That was his very last full footstep before going into the sticker bush. and that was his right foot, and on his left footprint you could only see the heel, so it didn't make out the full footstep. So he had opened it up on his left footstep going into the sticker bush, because on that picture you can see his heel, and then nothing, the foot doesn't continue to do an imprint into the snow. So
that's wild.
Yeah.
I've seen them actually heel walk like that before too, when they're trying to hide their track. There was one coming up out of a river, and he took 2 steps just on his heels, and then he took a really long step and tried to put his foot down, and it wasn't gravel, it was still sand, and he left a nice, awesome 19-inch track. But by the next time he put his foot down, he was on the gravel, so you couldn't see anything. So all there was just these 2 heel prints that looked like elk tracks or something until you look closer at them, and then there's this one big honking 19-inch track, and then it's all gravel, so you can't see anything on it.
Wow, that reminds me, because I thought I seen like some type of tracks, like they looked like elk too. And there's this well,
don't forget they can run like we can too, and especially if they go uphill, we've seen plenty of examples of this where they just dig their toes right into the hill. So all you see is the front part of their foot.
Yeah.
And they can do the same thing too, where they can take a few steps, assuming they're not super heavy, gigantic adults. The younger ones especially, they can run, just on the balls of their feet, take 2 or 3 steps like that. So you only see like part of a track. And you're going, what the hell is this? Is this a bear or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they try to disguise it. Wow, they're trying to teach their young how to do that. They're
incredibly sneaky. They know every trick there is and then some.
Wow, yeah, that is crazy, because I thought I seen some, it could have been coyote tracks, because we have tons of coyotes over here, but I was thinking there's this old folk tale. Have you ever heard of Deer Woman?
Yep.
Yeah, so I was like, fuck, I was like, dang, this better not be Deer Woman back here. But
if it's only walking on 2 legs, it's pretty obvious. Deer have 4.
Yeah.
So even injured ones have 3.
That's what threw me off, because the 2 were very spread apart. One was way over here, and then the other one was just way over there. So that's why I thought it was just only one set. And I'm like, what the heck? This is a huge animal. Like I actually seen a larger coyote. It almost looked like a wolf size. And I don't know if you've heard, but I've heard that Bigfoot can like transform into coyotes and wolves and stuff. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, apparently they all have different levels of sneakiness, and there's some of the there are some claims that some of them can transform their shape, or that they can turn into orbs and back again, and all kinds of stuff, but like nobody's ever got that on video.
Really?
So until I see it on video, I'm going to be doubtful.
Yeah.
But there are reports of them being able to do that sort of thing, and it's also even amongst all the people that actually have communication with them, they'll tell you the same thing, that different groups have different abilities. And the older ones have more training and they have more weird abilities than the little ones do, because they've had longer to practice. So it's really hard to know where the limit on their capabilities ends, because they're not sitting around rattling off a list of everything they can do. We don't know what they do.
Right.
We just have to observe it and go, what the hell was that? Was that even a Bigfoot, or was it a shapeshifter? Like I was talking to Richard Doty, who will be on the next show. And one of the things he mentioned is that they, already had a catalog of 4 or 5 different types of known aliens back when he was doing this years and years ago. And recently they've updated like with 30 more. So there's all kinds of known aliens that are visiting the planet off and on. And one of them, happy, joy, it's a shapeshifter. So it could look like anything. It could look like Bigfoot, Dogman, a Puckwudgie, your aunt, whatever. Maybe your aunt looks like a Puckwudgie, I don't know. But I mean, it could literally look like anything. And that's assuming it can't pretend to be an inanimate object like a lampstand or a mailbox.
That is very frightening. Yeah, I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, and again, we've had these sort of legends about these folkloric creatures that can do this sort of thing for thousands of years. And it makes you wonder if it was just legend and imagination, or if there really were these cryptids that could do this, or if it's these aliens that can shapeshift that they thought were these weird cryptids that can change shape.
There's so many different ways and different. It's just, I really lost for words because it can be anything, honestly.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, it could be this, could be that, could be this. Like,
yeah,
it's just you only read about that, or you were only taught that orally over thousands and thousands of years, and until you see it for yourself, you're gonna be pretty interested in pretty much like the rest of your life, because it really does like consume you. Like
it's a lot easier for people to just ignore all this stuff and assume none of it actually exists and get on with your life. But it's when your life gets interrupted by the fact that this stuff really does exist and you see things and have encounters with them and stuff, and then you have to stop and go, well, here's this big long list of other things I was taught. Throw that out the window. Now start making a list of what the world really looks like.
Right? Seriously, like I watch a lot of I'm really interested in like space and stars and planets and stuff and all that, astronomy, and I just listen to them and I'm just like, are you truly like feeding us the right information? Because I'm over here seeing something totally different in the sky right now. If you all would just look up, literally. Yeah. Literally, it's just like there's so much that they're not telling you at all.
There's a lot of fake science out there too that's for public consumption that isn't real.
Yeah, exactly.
One of my favorite ones is their current cosmological model, that they're busy looking for all the dark matter and the dark energy. Ooh, 85% of the matter in the universe, you can't see it. Could be because it's not there. It's a flawed cosmological model. Your numbers are wrong. Pull your head out of your butt. There's the easy answer. Occam's razor. Thank you very much. Solved it for you. Get a new model. So anyway, on that furious note, was there anything else you wanted to mention, or we pretty much got her taken care of here?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I really hope I don't have any truly like visual sightings by myself, because I don't know what I would do. And yeah, I pretty much covered a lot of things that my family and my friends and stuff and what I have been through. And yeah, there's just weird stuff. And if you look at the map too, Port Orchard and La Push, if you were to draw a line like going from east to west, it's pretty much on that same line. So it's like, yeah, there's. So
did they run out of room on the sign when they named the area Port Orchard, and it should have been written as Portal Orchard?
That's a good one. Oh my gosh, I'm definitely gonna make it. Yeah, I'm making a t-shirt for that for sure.
Portal Orchard.
Portal Orchard.
Well, what I want you to do now is, since you know that there's stuff going on around there, of course, keep your eyes open for it. And if anything else happens, be ready to snappy pictures or get video. The other thing you might want to do is actually ask around some of your other neighbors that maybe you don't talk to very much. You guys ever see anything weird around here?
Yeah.
And see what kind of response you get, because in a lot of these littler neighborhoods and stuff, they don't really talk to each other about it, but they're all kind of having some weird stuff going on, and all it takes is one of the neighbors to show up and go, do you guys ever see anything weird around here or something? Because I saw this and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And then they'll be like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah. And pretty soon it's like all the neighbors are talking about, hey, we've all been seeing weird stuff around here. Maybe we should be talking about this.
Definitely, I will. That's a good conversation starter because I just don't want to be like, oh, I seen Bigfoot behind my trailer, and I don't want, because you know how, I don't know, but the Port Orchard is like, there's so many churches in one city. I'm like, this is like the Bible Belt city, like literally so many churches, and I'm just like, I don't want to come across like, if they don't believe in that, like I don't want to come across like I'm crazy and stuff. And but
well, you got to remind them, if they give you that kind of attitude, that by the way, the Bible is full of woo. That's what the whole Bible is. It's nothing but woo.
Yeah.
And you believe what's in the Bible, but you don't believe there's supernatural things. Hello, something wrong there.
You're totally right. You're spot on. Spot on.
And I had that told to me by an exorcist that used to be on my show occasionally. And that was his favorite line. Oh, you believe in the Bible, but you don't believe there can be Bigfoot or anything. Do you realize the Bible is completely full of paranormal and supernatural stuff? Have you read it?
Seriously, that's literally, you couldn't have said it any better. You really couldn't have.
He got to do that also. Well, the guy was an exorcist.
Yeah.
So, he got to answer that little problem.
Yeah, right?
Well, there's no supernatural stuff. Hey, Joker, I'm an exorcist. That's what I do for a living.
That is crazy. Yeah, that's... I would definitely be asking my neighbors, because I'm going to be moving in the next 10 days or so. So I'll be back in La Push. And
oh, it's a great time to ask all of them then before you run for it.
For sure.
If you stir up a hornet's nest, you'll be safely escaping anyway. No problem.
That's right. That's the best time.
And if nothing else, if you remembered the town history. Well, there was one lady that lived here that left 10 days later, stirred up this hornet's nest, and it became the hotbed of Bigfoot and UFO research within 50 miles suddenly. Because every neighbor went, oh, you read that Bigfoot over your property slamming your house too?
That is funny. Yeah, I hope it goes like that too, literally. That is cool. Hilarious.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being on the show, Pistol, and sharing all of your cool stuff that you found and all the weird stuff that's happened over there with everybody else.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was a really, really great pleasure. And I just want to say happy Father's Day to everyone out there. And I appreciate you. And thank you so much for having me on. And I hope everyone has a good night.
Right on. And on that wonderful note, thanks for being on the show, Pistol, and everybody out there. Like she just said, have a happy Father's Day. If you're not a father, have a happy day anyway. And make sure to always follow the following instructions.
So make sure that you're kind to everyone. Safety first, last, and always. Pay it forward. Don't be mean to people if you don't have to be. Don't flip off the mountain giant. Don't poke Dogman with a stick. Don't punt the puck, would you? And for God's sake, whatever you do not hug the Wookiee.